Hello and welcome to Week 2 Scenario Design Basics for the course In Action Integration Framework for SAP Business One. My name is Mario Fetzner, and in this unit I will tell you about the step configuration. When completing this unit, you are able to configure the inbound and outbound channels for a step, configure the SQL call atom, and access the sender data and the SQL results from the XML message to use in XSL transformation statements. First, we will have a look at the step configuration. The step configuration consists of defining the inbound, processing and outbound for the newly created steps. First, we have to select the inbound type from the list. Here we select void for this scenario step. A channel consists of a sender system type, the process mode, the trigger and the identification method. A channel comprises all relevant combinations of these aspects. For this scenario, the inbound type is void and the trigger is a timer that runs on a regular basis. The timer value is specified as minute, hour, day, month and so on. In our example, the timer will trigger from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. Let us now switch to the live system. In the last unit, we have created the package design and the step design named openSAP file export. First, we define the inbound while clicking on inbound. In the action, we click on channel and we select our inbound type. Our inbound type is void. We can save it. And we want to define a timer. We click on timer. We specify the minute with a star. It should run at 10 in the night. And it should run from Monday till Friday. So we specify 1 to 5. Sorry, we need to specify this day of the week for sure. We save it and we close it. Save and close. So now we have defined the inbound channel and we switch back to our presentation. For the outbound channel, again, you make a selection from the available list. When you select the flat file as the outbound channel, you need to specify the file formatting details. Details include the file format, for example DSV, the mode, read, write, append and so on, and the character encoding. Select from the list according to your country or system-specific needs. For DSV file, you need to specify the field delimiter character, for example a comma, and optionally a field wrapper. Please note, a format control document is only required if you select a text output file. Let us now switch to our live system to demo the outbound channel. We click on outbound. Select the outbound channel. We want to select flat file. The outbound format is file. It's the only option available in the drop-down. And we need to click on details. Within here, we have to specify the output format. We specify DSV file. Mode is write because we want to write a file. The character encoding, depending on your country, we select the first. The format control document is not needed for our case, and the field delimiter is a comma. Save it and we close it. So now we have configured the outbound and we'll switch back to our presentation. When you add atoms to the step processing, they are automatically numbered, atom 0, atom 1, atom 2, and so on. To see the number for an atom, open the atom configuration by selecting the icon in the atom. The XSL file in the atom has the same name as the atom. After you add an atom into the step processing, you need to configure it. Most atoms will show a red icon at first until they are configured. Then the icon will change to green. Atom controls include checkbox to enable or disable the atom for processing, trash icon to remove an atom permanently from the process flow. The XSL files are still existing in the BIS store. To remove the XSL files from the BIS store, click the red cross in the top bottom line. Edit icon to configure the atom. When configuring the atom, you can optionally change the name displayed in the atom. For example, you can change the name from SQL call to callDB in the atom description field. You cannot change the atom identifier which is assigned to the integration framework, atom 0, atom 1, and so on. The error information icon displays if there are errors in the configuration or the configuration is not complete. With the View icon, you can view the atom configuration details without the option to edit them. For this week's scenario, we need to configure the SQL call atom. This involves entering the system ID of the database system. The system IDs will be covered in the next unit of this course. Entering the SQL query. Please note, the integration framework assumes you are using an XML path language, XPath expression. Therefore, you need to enter the hashtag character with your data to indicate this is actual text. The integration framework supports the SAP HANA in-memory database as well as traditional SQL databases. In this openSAP course, we will use the SAP HANA database. To enter the SQL query for SAP HANA, select the HANA button in the atom configuration window. You can then enter the query in the HANA SQL statement area. Note that SAP HANA SQL syntax is slightly different from regular SQL syntax. You can find a handout on the differences provided with this week's materials. The configuration of an atom depends on the specific atom. You can find full documentation for configuring an atom in the atom configuration window. After you have configured the atom, the red icon changed to green. Let us now switch to our live system and demonstrate the processing. So first we click on processing. And you can see the different atoms. We click on the play icon and select our SQL call atom. Call SQL, select. We click Add and close. And now our new atom SQL call has been added to the process flow. Now we need to configure it, so we click on Configuration. We select the system ID. The system ID is our database connection. Then we scroll down a little bit. We select HANA because we want to enter a HANA SQL statement. I've prepared the SQL statement already for HANA. So we copy paste this one from here. And we enter the HANA SQL statement in the HANA box. So you can see the SQL statement. We are going to select the item code, item name, sales unit measurement, warehouse code, warehouse name, and so on. So finally, we're gonna save our edit SQL call, and we can close it. And you can see the icon has changed from red to green. So now we switch back to our presentation. Let us now have a look at the transformation of the SQL results. The final atom in the step processing is the default data transformation atom. Like all transformation atoms, this atom has a pre-built XSL file. In this case, the file is called atom0.xsl. You can open this XSL file directly from the BIS store using a WebDAV editor. Or you can open the XSL file directly from step processing by double-clicking the center of the atom. The file will open in the embedded XML editor. The transformation statements will be added to the template transform section of the XSL document. When the scenario runs, the integration framework will process these transformation statements. Your data transformation statements will declare a structure in XML for the data outbound. This scenario has an outbound flat file, so that needs to be declared in the data transformation using the fileout type file text. All outbound structures are documented in the online help, and you can search for the schemas. The fileout structure include row and column tags. The XSL for each statement grabs every row from the SQL call. The XSL file associates the template with the inbound XML message. All the nodes from the body section of the message are available, including the sender data, payload section S, and any interim payload, such as type C, which were added by processing atoms. Your data transformation statements will need to access sections of the XML message body using XML path expressions. Since transformation is commonly done on the sender data, in payload section S, you can use a predefined variable called MSG that is a shortcut to the full XPath expressions to the payload S. To access the information from a call atom, you need to navigate to payload section C, C equal call. No predefined variable is provided for this XPath expression, but you can define your own variable in the XSL file. Payload section C is a general call, and in this scenario it is an SQL call. In other cases, it could also be a call, e.g. to SAP Business One system, other databases, or an HTTP call. Within payload section C, there is an element for the result set and an element for each record in the database results. Note that the JDBC namespace is defined in the XMNLS section of the XSL document and is used in the integration framework for returning database results. All text of the result will be in the XML namespace of JDBC. To extract the database results from payload section C in your XSL transformation statements, you can use the for each statement to pass the records in the result set and the value of select statement to extract the database field values. In the example shown here, a new variable called MSGSQL is defined in the XSL file. This variable is used in a new XPath expression to access the result set and row elements in payload section C. Note that when you use a variable in an XPath expression, you need to add a $sign in front. Let us now switch to our live system. So we click on Final. The first thing we're gonna do, we do a pretty print. So we copy paste our fileout structure. and enter it within the XSL template section. So in the next step, we need to copy-paste our MSG variable. And we name it SQL MSG SQL. This is our newly created variable. And we replace S with an C. Okay, this was actually the transformation. So we save it. And we close it. So one additional step, what I want to show you. So now we have defined the inbound, processing and outbound. So you can also check about all this file structuring within the help section. So you can click on help, online help, and you can enter, for example, file, search, and you can see the output structure of a DSV outbound schema. So you can click on that, and you can see the file out type for file. It needs to be separated in rows and columns. So you can always use the online help in case you have any questions or some things are not clear. Okay, let's switch back. This was our scenario. We switch back to the presentation. Summary. This completes Unit 2. In this unit, you learn the basics of step configuration, inbound, processing, and outbound, including the SQL call atom configuration. You also saw how to access the sender data and the SQL results from the XML message to use in XSL transformation statements. In the next unit, you will learn about the system landscape directory used to define sender data and receiver systems for a scenario. Thank you for attending this unit.